We're talking about AI-assisted sales acceleration and how we can get more customers, more leads, and convert them faster than ever before. And we have some information about AI and what other companies are doing and how they're adopting. We have discussion topics, so we'd love for folks to get off their mute and chime in if you have something to share. And there's some freebies at the very end. So if you stay to the end, you get some freebies. So what is a,
Excited.
oh, who is that?
Oh, that was me. I was just saying that we're excited for this very
Oh,
presentation. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them after the presentation.
yeah. And Kyle is our director of customer success. So he helps us with kind of making sure that our customers are happy. And he's also a really big technophile, kind of like I am as well. Loves First Contact and all the automation and AI capability. So what is AI assisted sales? We all know when we're talking to AI. We know when we receive an email probably from AI, we can spot little things like the M dash. We can spot little characteristics. So from kind of what I've been reading and what I've experienced with clients and companies across the country, AI is not supposed to just take over all of sales. But what it can do is help to facilitate and boost the sales team and smooth it out a little bit, make it an easier process. Does anybody else have thoughts on AI assisted sales? Want to share? Any other definitions? And some of these slides, they're just kind of thought-provoking. We want to operate twice as fast with high quality with sales acceleration. So it's not also just about sales and marketing, but it also can help with operations and making sure that all the little bits and pieces are working together. And a lot of companies, a lot of salespeople, they're losing leads constantly, and they don't even realize they're losing leads. Folks, if you can drop a one in the chat, if you think you have lost leads because of timing, I know I have. That poor follow-up, that definitely can cause issues. People are gonna, they'll open a can of beer and they're on to their next thing and they forgot they even had a problem or they forgot why they even contacted you. Yeah. And how long are you willing to wait for a salesperson or support? So I know like Delta, they rolled out a pretty cool feature where we'll call you. So if you call Delta Airlines, you need help, you can hit a button and they'll call you back. And sometimes it takes 2 minutes, sometimes it takes 3 hours. But depending on kind of the need and the process and the sales, and Julie said she'll wait a few hours. Okay. Also, depending on how much pain you're in, if you're in pain and they have a solution, or if it's a new product and you're really excited about it. Oh, okay. Julie's now said 3 minutes. Okay. So, yeah, what is the right timing? And there's so many factors involved. You know, like I said, are you in pain? What's happening? What's going on? Do you have a big business problem? Are people upset? Do you need some solutions really, really fast? What I found is that customers, they'd rather talk to AI and get an answer right away than wait 8 hours to talk to a human. It's just our culture. We're the text message culture. We want everything fast, fast, and right now. And so it's really imperative that we automate our lead follow-up as fast as possible. And we'll talk a little bit about our platform called First Contact. It has an autopilot feature. So if people are messaging us on Facebook, Instagram, text, email, phone calls even, it can do follow-up immediately, even while you sleep. And the other thing that a lot of folks don't really know is their complete customer journey. What are their customers experiencing? They have lots of different tools that they're using and they can't see the complete picture. And so it's really imperative that we see that so we know how we can market to our customers and how we can make sure we're dealing with their pain points. If there's any friction, we want to make sure we tackle that. And so one thing that we love about our platform is that right on a contact form for someone's record, we can see exactly what they did when they did it, and the date and time. And if I got a call from this client and they said, I submitted a form around the 14th, I can't remember what it was. I can go look and say, oh yeah, at 9:40 a.m. you submitted the Elite Partner Program registration form. Here's a new link to it if you want to fill it out again. And a lot of tools, really can't do that for you. So it's imperative in order to see this. It really can accelerate sales and make it go a lot faster. The other thing that we recommend is that you should be assigning points based on customer activity. So if somebody clicks a link if they book a demo, if they purchase something, if they unsubscribe, you should be adding or subtracting points. And then that's going to give us a group of people that we want to market to. They love us already. They're already reading our emails. They're already participating with us in some fashion. There's activity. And those people are a lot easier to market to. Also, we know the email's not going into spam. So that can be a really good thing. So we have an amazing team of experts. I'd like to kind of introduce our team. And first up, though, I am really excited to introduce Joel. Joel is the founder of Coax Consulting. He's also our fractional CMO at First Contact. He provides a lot of help with marketing and advertising and sales, and tells me what I'm doing wrong and what I'm doing right. And he's kind of my dad and my coach and my consultant and all that. And his advice has been amazing, extremely valuable. Joel will talk about the art of gentle persuasion. So, which I really like. It's not about right in your face marketing. You know, he talks a lot about how do we accelerate the sales process and how do we accelerate marketing and get rid of bottlenecks. And some of that takes time. It's not an immediate thing. Like I said, he helps us as a fractional CMO. He also has a really cute puppy named Luca. Joel, do you have Luca?
Lucas here, yeah, he's
Oh,
always sleeping right next to me.
oh, okay. Does Luca want to make maybe a little video debut, maybe later?
No, he's buried under his blanket.
Oh, okay.
And you all have met Nick, and it's been a fun journey with them and the development of this platform. And as an AI enthusiast, he's also worked in tech in lots of different ways the last 25 years, coaching clients as well as business coaching and career coaching and providing insights. And it really makes a difference when you have somebody with that kind of background putting together a platform that informs the process of managing a database or managing a client flow, because you've got some great insights. And so it's wonderful to see how that works and demonstrating today how the platform also saved him a lot of money in his tech stack.
Yeah, we were spending so much money on all sorts of different tools. It was crazy. Thanks, Joel. Joel and I work with some great folks. Travis Greeley's on the phone too. He's our operations person, helps with a lot of detailed stuff, and makes sure that things run smoothly for our customers. He interacts with customers, deals with presentations and data and all that stuff in the back end. And Joel, you've met. Lior has just joined us as our financial officer. And Lior he's up in Canada, Montreal, and he's just been awesome. He's a kind of a visionary in the finance accounting world. John's our lawyer. He helps with all the stuff so I don't get into trouble. Mark is on the phone. Mark's new, and he is my boss, my executive assistant, bookkeeper. So he keeps me going in order and making sure I follow my calendar and keep organized. And then Kyle has just joined us as well. Kyle is, and I talked a little bit about Kyle at the beginning, but he's our director of customer success, and he has a really strong development background in SaaS. He loves working on new tools and new things and AI and is an expert with First Contact. And so if anybody puts in a ticket, it's going to go to Kyle first. He's going to see it and work on it and try to resolve it right away. And he's been just doing a great job. And then for folks that have kind of my presentations before, we have David Pink, who's an advisor for me, Steve Thompson, invaluable advice. And Steve is also a Bloom Growth coach, and he flies all around the country working with executives on improving their business operations and communication. So I'm just going to talk very briefly about go-to-market, and that's what this is all about. Our go-to-market strategy. How are we going to go to market? How are we going to sell and position our product so that we can achieve the best outcome? And the one thing I found in this High Point study from 2025 is that 90% of companies, they're implementing some type of AI for go-to-market. And it's really transformative. It's changing how they market, how they sell, how they enable their go-to-market strategy. And it's bringing a lot of clarity to what's going on around them because with AI, we have a better way to have KPIs. We have a better way to measure what we're doing because we have dashboards that the AI is reporting data back to. And what we can measure, we can manage. And that's really, really important. So one thing in this AI first world that we're getting into, there's kind of four big things that we're seeing. And I'm not going to read this all verbatim. I just kind of want folks to think about it. The number one thing is streamlining workflows. So how do we make the process smoother? Joel, I think you've said to me we need to reduce friction. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Friction is, if somebody has to click, 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 they have to go through extra steps. They're not going to probably do it. They also want personalized or hyper-personalized experiences. We all want to feel special. We all love hearing our name or seeing our name. And then also we want our salespeople or our marketers to know more about us so that we know that they're actually talking to the right person. They really have a product that we might be interested in. And integrating AI is helping the entire process. It's also, some companies are using it to coach and train their salespeople. So not only is it interacting with customers, it's interacting with teams on the back end to help support them to go live. So it's not necessarily this tool that's going to interface with your customers. It can also boost up your team and give them more power and prowess and knowledge and experience. And like I said earlier, fast response. They want to know stuff immediately. It's really important. There's also 49% of teams are currently utilizing AI in their go-to-market strategies. And another 41%, they're planning to adopt more AI in their go-to-market strategies. And so this is huge. I mean, AI is saturating the market. And if you are against AI, you're fighting AI, you don't want AI, well, you're going to have to probably get on board because if you don't, you're going to fall behind. These companies are using AI to become inimitable. They're becoming so unique, they're hard to copy. And the AI is advancing them so fast. I think somebody said recently in a meeting that 100 years of human history and advancement is going to happen in less than 10 years, probably in less than five with AI and all that it can do. It's making millionaires pretty much every day and driving companies towards more success. So I'd like to hand it over to Joel to share his wisdom on marketing. Very valuable
So
information.
thank you. So I think what if you can keep the concept in mind that Google is perpetuated, I should say, but probably both.
Yeah.
The term is zero click response. So getting an answer to an inquiry without clicking. And if we look at overall in the marketing strategy pillars, once we have a few things nailed down, then AI can assist in moving things forward. So when we think about it, what triggers someone to do business with you? There's an emotional thing. There's a problem that they're having. They want to leverage their community in some way, or leverage your community in some way through association. And there's lots of different reasons that someone would want to do business with you. And what is the sensory experience? And we don't really talk about this too much. It's kind of a lost art in marketing to really perpetuate a sensory experience. But AI is also now taken us somewhat out of a sensory experience into just the emotional experience, right? I'm frustrated. I want an answer. I have a problem. I need something done. So this quick response thing, has created almost an ADD effect in how we interact with businesses, right? But if we can tap into the reasons that someone wants to do business with you and their sensory experience, how they're going to feel, what they're going to see, is it easy? Do I feel trusted? Am I getting value? How much involvement is there for me in order to gain the desired result? Again, reducing friction. Those are all things that AI is helping with. And so when we look at that, we think about our content. What's our messaging? What's our images like? Are they accurate? Can I relate to it? Right? Is it truly answering the question that I asked in a zero-click experience? you know, um, and then the whole thing around AI giving us market intelligence, telling us whether people actually interact with companies like ours, giving us data points, right? There's so much data in the world. We can now use AI. And case in point, we're working with a international high-end, very precision machine shop that creates high tolerance parts for things like scientific instruments and all kinds of things. The big question that we had was, in what parts of the country have the least amount of high precision machine shops in the US based on this customer group that we're trying to do and our service offering? And it spit it out in seconds all of the different regions in the US that became potential markets. So we were able to inform marketing by saying, let's start here and let's collect some data to help inform us. And then we can connect that now with sales. So bringing those two things together. And then on the next slide, if we really look at um, the interaction points, right? So we have an AI workflow, but we have human interaction. So it doesn't replace the need for interaction, it just replaces the how we interact, right? So when it comes to all of these different stages of marketing, we'll do ads that create awareness or engagement or educate, right? There's all these different stages in the workflow. So when we're looking at awareness, we want to find out, you know, by reading the headline, what is this, right? Is this for me? And so there's tools that we use with image and video, right, to talk about that. And what is it not, right? I want to disqualify as many people browsing as necessary as quick as possible so that the ones that are highly qualified in our browsing, we can move them to the next step, which is engagement. And this is where the AI workflow starts to kick in. Somebody clicks something, if this, then what? Right? So what's the next step for a meaningful response? How do we engage with them? How do we determine the level of interest? And once that's determined, AI says, okay, now let's educate them. Why this matters, how it helps you. Here's a report, here's a case study, here's some good information that you can consume to gain confidence, right, in our company. And if they're not quite ready yet, maybe we move, AI says, well, let's move them over to nurture. Nick talked about adding points to the customer journey. This is where AI starts to sift and sort. So again, moving this on, this becomes sales acceleration because it's data informed. It's an AI workflow that someone doesn't have to go click, drag, move, right? This is all just boom, shifts over. And then when we get into conversion actions, now we're really talking about, okay, if you want to have a trial or a discovery session and now it drops you into strategy and proposal stage, and now you get a proposal in your email that you can say, yes, I want to do this. And then the invoice comes and you pay the invoice and it schedules the next session. All that can happen without human interaction, right? So we have to determine now in our workflows when it's important for us to interact physically or as a human input in order to inform AI as to what to do next. And a lot of times the human interaction is on the customer side and less on the sales side. And it's interesting when we think about car sales now, right? You can order a car and have it delivered, right? We used to say you can't buy a car online because you can't print it, right? You have to go somewhere and drive it and, right, talk to a salesperson and so on. And now you can talk to AI, you can read reports, you can hear what other people think, and you can put off your test drive with a 7-day guarantee until you actually have it show up in your driveway, right? So there's all these kinds of tools now that are happening that allows us to move the sale faster and to get people the response they need immediately. And I think on the next slide, there's
I
some,
have a question
uh,
actually.
yeah.
So you kind of educated me about this 5-3-2 pattern. Is this kind of
Mhm.
follows that, right? The 5-3-2, engagement, education, and nurture, or am I thinking of this differently?
Yeah, well, the concept of 532 is in a pack of 10 uh, contact points with the prospect, right? Five of those are going to be your awareness, right? Three of those are going to be information and education, and two of those are going to be much more of the sensory experience and how they do business with you and how people are interacting with you, right? So we map that all out as part of that workflow.
Cool.
And then next.
Okay.
So here's an illustration of kind of how it works. So this is an AI receptionist. This is for a client that we worked with who's in the field all the time, runs teams of people for pool service as well as construction, and isn't always there to answer the phone. So we have someone here to help answer the phone.
Hey, this is Betty with Better Buy Pool Supply. How can I help you today?
Hey, Betty. Yeah, I need to schedule a pool cleaning.
Got it. Are you a current customer or is this your first time reaching out to us?
I am a new customer.
Welcome. Let's get started. Can I have your first name, please?
Yeah, my first name is Nick.
Thanks, Nick. And your last name?
Last name is Rustad, R-U-S-T-A-D.
Got it, Nick Rustad. What's the best phone number to reach you?
You can get me at 952-452-1306.
Hey, thanks. And could you share your email address so we can send you the appointment details?
Yeah, it's ntrmpls@gmail.com.
Thanks, Nick. So that's ntrmpls@gmail.com, correct?
That's correct.
Perfect. Now, could you provide the full service address where the pool is located?
Yeah, it's at 121 South Hope Street, Los Angeles, California, 90012.
Thanks, Nick. I've got your address as 121 South Hope Street, Los Angeles, California, 90012. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Great. What specific pool cleaning service or issue would you like us to address?
Well, when I got up this morning and went and looked at the pool, it's completely green and filled with algae, and it smells really bad.
Got it, Nick. We'll address the algae issue and the odor. Let me check the available appointment slots for you. One moment. Here are the available slots. On Friday, January 30th at 9:30 a.m. or 12:30 p.m. On
I'll take
Saturday,
your first one.
You're all set, Nick. Your appointment is confirmed for Friday, January 30th at 9:30 a.m. Is there anything else I can assist you with?
Yeah, do you know any good jokes?
Of course. Here's one for you. Why don't skeletons fight each other? Because they don't have the guts. Anything else I can help with?
No, that's it. Thank you, Betty. You've been really helpful.
You're very welcome, Nick. Thanks for calling Better by Pool Supply. Have a great day.
So you can see with Betty, she has been trained on lots of data.
You folks have no idea what honey and cinnamon can do for
Oh
your
my God. Oh my, okay, there we go. Sorry.
Honey and cinnamon sounded great. But and then at the end of the conversation, there was a text message sent and email confirmation, and also notified to the proprietor that he has an appointment, and it's on his calendar. So he'll wake up in the morning and knows what his day's like. But what is interesting about AI-assisted receptionist is, and we've trained dozens of these now, is that they can clearly identify what resource or service is needed for the question that the customer is asking. They can then identify whether it's a previous or existing customer, so they don't have to go through the whole, rigmarole. We can verify you by your phone number. We can read your incoming phone number, all of those good things. And then detect service areas, which we didn't do with Betty in this case, but we programmed in a service area. And if he had put in an address that was outside the service area, Betty would have informed him that they don't service pools in that area. So there's lots of different nuances to training the AI receptionist, which she answers very quickly, looks things up immediately, and again, accelerates that sale. We find that you have basically 18 seconds to book an appointment with a caller. So if it takes longer than that for you to answer the phone, which is about 3 rings, you might lose them. If you get them on the phone and you're hemming and hawing and it's not answering right away, and oh, hang on, let me check with the supervisor. Oh, you know what, this calendar, I got to see if we have a service person in that area, right? We start to lose them. So if we can book that appointment within 18 seconds, there's close to 100% chance that that sale gets made. So very interesting. And we're starting to see the stats really pay off. That's why you saw on the earlier slide, if 49% of people are using AI in their workflows and 41% are planning on it, then on that survey, 90% of people are engaging with AI to help their workflows and to build their business. So very interesting. Anyway, thank you so much.
And you're getting, Joel, you're getting more and more clients that are interested in that voice AI component. I know we've been setting up more of those. Has there been any kind of patterns that you've noticed, or are people approaching you, or when you have conversations with them, or do they just get really excited right away, or kind of what have you been experiencing when you talk to people about it?
Well, I think mostly because it's not really a mainstream business practice yet. There's some caution going into it. Is she going to book me for stuff I don't do? Is she going to screw up my schedule? Is she going to accept a job that I don't really want? Right? Those are all great concerns and great questions. In fact, I just got off a call this morning with a restoration, an emergency service person, and he says, don't accept the job, whatever it is. Make sure that they respond with typically, most likely, in most cases, right? Those kinds of phrases, because while they'll do a plumbing, pretty much any plumbing job inside, there are instances where they cannot help. right?
Mm.
If there's mold remediation, there are instances where it needs to be handled in different ways, and they can't just come right out and take care of it. So again, training that assistant to be very specific to the client is really where the strength is, and Nick is just awesome at doing that. So we've been able to mitigate some of those concerns, but for the most part, people are very open to it. We have a very traditional client in the HVAC industry where he's like, "Oh, I only want it to answer when I'm not around," right? And that can be done. And then we said, "Well, listen, how about if you don't pick it up in 3 rings, she picks it up?" Right. And he's like, oh, well, that makes sense, right? Because we don't want to miss a service call, right?
Mhm.
Because service calls lead to sales. And when you're talking about replacing an HVAC system, it's a 5-digit investment, right? So we don't want to miss those, right? So there's all kinds of these little instances where the reception of having it is becoming more and more interesting to the business, and the acceptance of it from the consumer side is becoming more and more natural. So I think, the two together is why you see such a high adoption rate.
Mhm. Yeah, cool.
Kind of
Thanks
a
for
long answer, but
no, that was perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for. And thanks for letting me put you on the spot.
sure.
Yeah.
But there's that, free 30-minute session. If you scan that code, it'll get you right on my calendar, and we can chat about different use cases. It's not a sales pitch. Again, it's just an idea session to give you some ideas on how to implement AI in your marketing strategies.
Mhm. I think I had my first meeting with you. I actually went back through LinkedIn and I think I reached out to you first, and then we had one of these sessions. And it was great. So everybody sign up for a session with Joel. His team is highly experienced. He has folks kind of around the world that he's working with. And they're amazing. Every day I see something, they do all of our marketing for us, and they've been doing just a great job. So thanks, Joel.
Thank you.
So this we got to have a little bit of pitch in here, but it's not really. I'm not going to twist anybody's arm, but I want to explain how we make this happen. How do we enable all of this activity and make it successful for people? The big thing that we do that's a little bit different is we're more boutique. And so our CRM platform, we don't sell thousands of licenses every day. We sell maybe like 3 to 4 every week. And I meet with everybody individually. I like to know what's going on with their businesses and figure out how can we help them grow as fast as possible. And how can we do it with little friction? And so our platform is AI powered. There's AI throughout the entire platform. We also have unified communications. So I don't really live in my email anymore. Mark might, unfortunately, how many unread messages do I have, Mark? Maybe we shouldn't tell anybody. Mark lives in my email, but I'm typically in the conversation section within the platform looking at all the interactions that are going on. And the platform is built to help you scale. It's not just a small business platform, though. Large corporations use it as well. And it's easy to use, it's quick, it doesn't take months to set up. A buddy of mine is rolling out Salesforce. They're going to pay $40,000 a month. It's going to take 6 months to implement. And guess what? It does pretty much all the same stuff that our platform does to different degrees. And they have way more complexity in their organization, so it may make sense. But when I heard the price tag, I almost kind of threw up a little bit. Um, we also call it business in a box. So there's a dashboard right when you log in. And on the left side, you got access to all the different components that you need in order to run your business. Under sites on the left is everything web related, forms and QR codes, surveys, funnels, websites, even special sites for webinars. And like I said, it's an all-in-one solution. So funnels are really important because that's what we use for landing pages and to sell products. And it's designed to do A/B testing automatically. So we can test if a page, is red or blue, which one do people are more attracted to, which one helps to boost sales more. And we can get those statistics because what we can measure, we can manage. Also, all the scheduling and the bookings, the reputation management. Google is changing their algorithm a little bit, and they want to see more people respond to reviews. If companies are getting a lot of reviews and companies are responding to those reviews, it's another indication for the algorithm that they're legitimate. And so I've actually have witnessed that it can boost up someone on a Google search. You don't have to spend, thousands of dollars hiring someone to do tons and tons of SEO work, though that's extremely important. Reputation management is also really critical. And the AI, of course, brings it all together and ties it in a nice bow. The platform has voice AI for phone calls like Betty. Content can create social media posts for you. Workflows, it can actually set up a workflow for you. A lot of the other platforms can also do it, but this does it with marketing and sales in mind. And it can integrate all of these components into one. And so you can have workflows that call customers and then send them an email, and then it maybe does a review request, and then has a conversation and waits for a reply, and kind of tying it all together. The other thing that I care a lot about personally is making sure that we talk about all three of these, the people, the process, and the technology. I spent 25 years in IT and consulted for organizations like the Gates Foundation and General Mills, Boston Scientific. And every time I would go into a client meeting, I typically have one or two people that would say, "Ugh, why do we have to do requirements gathering? Oh, God. Why do we have to talk about, just turn it on. Nick, just flip the switch, turn it on." Well, when we do that, we're going to fail because we need to know, can people handle the tech? Is your sales team ready? That's why training with AI might be a really great thing. What processes do you have in place today that might need to be adjusted to adapt to the new technology? And then also, is the technology a right fit? Sometimes it's not. I've had to tell customers this is not going to work for you. And I've unfortunately probably wasn't very popular at my company because I'd give up a huge deal. But I knew if the company went down the route that they wanted to go in the wrong way, they would be even more upset. And so it's really important to bring these all three together. And I know it takes long, but you got to eat your Wheaties before you go for a run. Another little thing I kind of want to show is a cold outreach process that we've built. And we're working right now on version 3. And what this does is it's sending hyper-personalized messages to customers, waiting for a response, gauging the intent, and then sending a reply back. And it's a very simple process. I'm going to show you some screenshots of how it all works. But the intent is the key. So we want, like I said earlier with the points, the lead scoring, we want to market to people that like us. We want to market to people that love us. We do not want to bother people and irritate people. And so if they say, "Get me off your list," well, we're going to turn on Do Not Disturb immediately and get them out of our database. We don't want to have, folks irritated with our process. And it's extremely easy to set this up in the system. The time is in testing. AI is a child, and it can do a lot of amazing things. But if you wanted to do a certain process, you have to train it. And I know, Kyle, you've done a lot of this work with AI. I'm teeing you up if you haven't noticed here, so you might want to get yourself off mute. So, okay, only shaking his head, yes. Okay, good. So Kyle, what kind of AI work have you done within platforms like First Contact to help customers kind of with sales and marketing? And can you talk a little bit about like testing and how that's so critical?
Yeah, artificial intelligence now these days are very critical. One, because your competitors are using it, and the only thing that gives you advantage is who's using it better.
Mm.
And with First Contact, we develop a lot of practices and best practices and methods on how to train artificial intelligence. One of them is boosting them with a lot of knowledge and giving them the custom fields that they need to update in order to fire up an automation. So one of the workflows that we've created in First Contact is that when someone, oh, this is the very basic one. So when someone books a call, they qualify the customer, and on the notes that it sends out into the CRM, you're going to be able to see the very detailed information about what the customer needs. So if it's a restaurant, or if it's say for example, if it's a pool company, they rent out a pool, they clean out pools, you're going to be able to see all of the problems that the customer had, because the AI took note on all of it and updated all of the custom fields inside the CRM. So in the CRM of First Contact, there's going to be like nurture, following up with them, AI conversing with the customers. And this is really important piece of technology, because speed is the game in marketing right now. And yeah, as you can see here, the cold outreach lead generator, that's a nurture that's doing the that's keeping the customer in line and not go looking for other businesses. And there's a lot more that we have developed. Recently, there's a lot more development with the agentic side outside of the CRM that we're currently using. We're practicing IDEs. So in the future, we're going to be able to build a platform that you own with AI on it. So yeah, that's it from me, Nick.
Mm-hmm. No, thank you. Thanks for letting me put you on the spot. So yeah, enabling kind of that customer interaction is key. This is the intent flow that I was talking about earlier. So if it's positive, it's going to send a certain type of message. If it's a negative response, "Get me off your list." Well, it's going to turn on Do Not Disturb. And we can flip on Do Not Disturb for specific things too, like maybe they don't want to get a text message or an email or a phone call. We can flip those on and then we parse and get them out of the system. And if the AI can't tell the intent, like somebody just responds back and says, okay, fine, then it can send more of a neutral message back. So we're customizing the experience not in just the content, but in how we're interacting with the customer too. We're meeting the customer where they're at. And that's really, really important in consulting, in sales, in marketing, all of it. So we have some kind of thought-provoking kind of questions. And, if folks don't want to talk, that's totally cool, but I want to just kind of open this up. If everybody wants to get off mute, if you want to chat with us, that would be great. But what are your biggest business problems today? I love it when people bring a business problem to me because I want to see if I can solve it. And I'm working with a franchise consultant firm right now. And every time I meet with them on Friday, he's like, "Are you going to ask me, Nick?" And I said, "Yep, yep. I'm going to ask you, what's your biggest business problem right now, and let's jump into it." So Danny said, getting good leads. So that can be a challenge. Getting leads are one thing. I mean, you can go out and buy a list, but how do you qualify them? Kind of like what Kyle was saying. How do you nurture them and qualify them to make sure that they are going to be a good lead? Um, Joel, in your experience, the gentle art of persuasion and marketing, what are some things that maybe you would advise us on kind of qualifying leads or qualifying people to know if they're the right person for the right product? I'm just curious.
So what's interesting nowadays is we can actually collect intent prior to the ad being delivered.
Mm,
So if I can find someone who's actively searching for what I sell, and I can get a response back to them, uh, as a suggestion within hours, if not days, of their search activity, then they're much more likely to engage with me.
mhm,
The other is to find that business reason, a trigger that someone would want to do business with you. Find the problem and market to the problem, not the person. So that what a lot of people do is they start with, find your ICP, right? Well, if only 1% of 1% of those people are actually buyers, then you're going to be having a lot of wasted effort in marketing spend.
mhm,
But if I can bring you 10% of interested buyers, now you're starting to see return on your investment, return on ad spend.
mhm,
So good leads is a um, is a net result of good preparation.
mhm,
And with some of the different tools out there, we can pre-qualify people before they ever see the ad or get an offer.
mhm. Yeah.
So that would be the direction I would lead
Mhm.
into. And then there's different criteria for different industries and how people buy your business. I always say I don't advertise for advertising business because that's not how people buy advertising. Right?
Yeah.
They buy advertising because they want more business, not because they want to buy advertising. So I
Yeah.
don't advertise for advertising.
Yeah.
Right. So you
Yeah.
have to know if there's actually a market, right? So there's all kinds of little prep stuff that makes a difference.
And it's all statistical too, isn't it? It's all math, trying to figure out which levers you need to pull in order to have a response. Um,
So yeah, conversion tools are are important for that pre-qualification of that lead.
mhm,
So, and like I said in the earlier part of the presentation, we want to disqualify people that are not good candidates
mhm,
quickly and easily, and we want to bring back and invite people who are good candidates. Another way is site retargeting. Someone who comes in, we have ways to identify anonymous visitors to the website and send them an email.
mhm,
Hey, thanks for visiting the website. Did you get your question answered?
mhm,
If not, here's a link,
mhm,
right? And we ran a promotion with a luxury kitchen company that was manufacturing home appliances and so on. Anyway, we ran a consumer promotion through their retail network where we offered consumers a $500 discount on new equipment. And when they came to the website, if they didn't finish or if they didn't actually engage with us, we would send them an email right away that just said, "Hey, did you get your $500?" If not, finish, click here, fill out the form, and we'll make sure you get your coupons.
mhm,
Right. And so we had a 40% return rate. So when you think of all of the abandonment that happens on a website, if you can pre-qualify that lead and get them a response right away, give them something meaningful based on their intent. If you can bring back 40% of those people,
Mhm.
what do you think that's going to do to your return on ad spend, right? Because now you've organically re-engaged with someone you spent money bringing to your website,
Mhm.
right? So
40%. Wow, that's amazing.
yeah, retargeting, remarketing, that can add 40% to your bottom line.
Wow, that's awesome. Stretching those ad dollars out even further.
Hmm.
How are people using AI today? Is anybody doing any really cool AI type work that they'd be willing to share? I'll keep an eye on the chat. Danny, now you and I are talking about cold outreach, and we're going to be building a workflow for you. So that's going to be really good. And Danny's in the franchise consulting space. I don't know, Danny, do you want to say anything about that? Don't mean to put you on the spot, but
Um, Thanks, Nick, for putting me on the spot.
yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, but at least I'm here. I'm awake.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just started working with Nick a while ago, and he's doing some automations in my Go High Level account, and he's creating my website. And like this is all like I don't really know anything about this stuff, so Nick's been really helpful. And I'm excited to see what happens.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just I really like that technology with the AI bots and or whatever you call it, and hopefully get that going. And no, I'm just excited about all these different gadgets that Nick's introducing me to.
Yeah. There's so much that
It's
you can
fun. We
do.
have a workflow now that where we have a roofing company that's running ads. We run ads on Facebook, and if someone engages with them, they get an instant message on the messenger. If they show interest in engaging with them, an outbound AI receptionist calls and says, "Hey, we saw your note. Want to answer any questions?" Because we know the AI receptionist can answer all the questions, right? Because we trained them on the data,
Mhm.
and they get their question answered, and then she offers them to book an estimate and
Yeah,
then
so
puts it right on their calendar.
Mhm.
yeah, so for me, I'm all about emailing and texting, but when it comes to calling people, it's not what I like doing. So if I could get somebody doing my outbound stuff, that would be amazing.
Mhm. Yep, totally
Yeah.
possible.
And then
Totally
what Nick has
possible.
also done is when we created an estimate, sending a AI response 7 days after the estimate to see if you can answer any other questions and get the estimate approved. And then once the job is completed in the CRM, then they'll get a review request um, for satisfaction. How was your experience? Blah, blah, blah. So
Mhm.
yeah, so there's lots of little ways that you can leverage it that don't get in the way of humans and speed up the process.
Yeah.
Mm.
We have such information fatigue too right now. We have to remind people and remind people and remind people of things in order to kind of keep them engaged because there's so much distraction around us. Um, can be frustrating at times, but that's kind of the nature of the beast. Now, one
Yeah, so
thing,
I just
yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Nick.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like this is all new to me, right? But yesterday I was at a networking event, and there was some people with booths there, and two companies were doing some of the stuff you're talking about, right?
Mhm.
But they were talking about huge amounts of money to for them to do it for me, right?
Mhm.
Compared to what you're charging, and I'm like, I don't understand. And one guy wanted a setup of $5,000 and then reoccurring monthly costs, right? And so I guess my point is there's a lot of players out there that are getting into this. So it's even important. Sorry, it's even important for companies like yours to stay ahead of the curve.
Mhm.
Because there's all these little players trying to get in there, bottom feeders, and it's all about speed to market, right? So, you guys are there, and you talk about us businesses that need to adapt, but even your company needs to keep moving the needle, right? So.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And, it also depends on, I don't want to discredit folks that have a higher rate. I mean, it depends on their background. You're not only paying for what they're doing for you, but you're paying for the skill that they have because they might be able to do it faster. And this stuff is complicated. It is complicated. But I always kind of my approach is start simple. Let's start simple. And then let's talk about the next phase. Let's get that working first. If we build something in a vacuum, and then have you come in 2 months and say, here you go. it's probably not going to be what you want. And
Yeah.
it probably wouldn't have been tested the right way.
Yeah.
So you'll end up probably giving me $10,000, Danny. You just don't know it yet. I'm just
Well,
kidding. I'm
you
just
better
kidding.
send me you better send me some tickets to the Vikings games.
Oh, yes, yes. You're gonna come down to the States for that.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, of course,
yeah.
sure.
Oh, yeah. Danny's a friend up in Canada, so yeah, yeah. So the other thing that we're seeing is a lot of people are really nervous about layoffs and restructuring. And yes, there is some of that happening. Companies will jump on this like you would not believe, thinking it's going to be the end all be all fix to avoiding cost. And the one thing, though, that I mean, my perspective is that we shouldn't be laying anybody off. We should probably take those folks that AI can augment and have those folks do harder things, growth tasks, as I like to call them, instead of boring tasks. So instead of having Susie sit at the front desk answering the phone all day long, what else can Susie do to help the business? Susie already knows about the business. It would be much easier to reskill or upskill Susie and have her work in other areas of the business than lay her off because, oh, we replaced her. I think that's a very ignorant approach. And I want to see companies take advantage of AI, but I also want to see a lot of upskilling so that we're doing harder stuff, more difficult things, providing greater services, more services to our customers. That's the gold right there for me.
So Nick, explain to me why, and I'll put you on the spot, why Amazon is laying off so many people.
Well, there's an ebb and flow to Amazon's business. During my master's program, I was very fortunate to meet with the head of their head economist at Amazon, and he talked a lot about seasonality. He talked a lot about how they market to different socioeconomic groups, how they adjust their pricing on demand. And with seasonality, there's going to be times like in the summer, maybe their business is a little bit slower. That's going to influence their layoffs. They're also automating as much as they can within their warehouses. They're rolling out now more robots that are doing all of the finding, grabbing, sorting, shipping, all of that. And so we are going to see some of that stuff. Now, like I said, I think some of it might be a little ignorant, that companies are just going to lay people off, but everybody looks for an opportunity. And companies are always looking for an opportunity to save some money because their shareholders are demanding it. They want to see that stock price go up. And so as soon as one little shiny thing, oh, try this, you can lay off 10%, right? Oh my God, we can save so much money. Instantly that's where people go. But it's a pendulum. So Danny, if you see a massive layoff, they're going to be like, oh crap, we got rid of a bunch of people. Now we need them. And it's going to come swinging back, and then they're going to have a rehiring phase. Not to the same degree, but it's going to happen. That kind of happens. It's just like politics. It's a pendulum, swings both ways, back and forth. The further it goes one way, it swings even harder the other. So, but no, that's a good question. I mean, I think a lot of companies just want to leverage AI to save money. Um, yes, it can help you avoid costs. I see that we're 4 minutes after, so I just want to switch over to the freebies. So I'm offering for everybody on the call, if you would like a 1 hour free session with me on business coaching, bring me a problem. I want to solve it for you. And then also, we're offering for a limited time kind of a free 30-day trial of our platform. And it comes with a 1 hour setup session at no cost. And so we can get you up and running, get social media set up, show you how to do an email marketing campaign, maybe set up a workflow with a little AI. And then there's Joel's QR code to set up some time with him. Very valuable session. Highly recommend it.